الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الله أكبر.
Hello Muslim friends of the world. Islam first came to England in the 18th century. The entry of Islam into England was thanks to a sailor recruited from the Indian continent. More precisely, the Bengal region. He worked for the British East India Trading Company. Michael Herbert Fisher, in his journal entitled Counterflows to Colonialism, explained that the first early Muslim communities were often found in port cities. This is because the spreaders of Islam in England were sailors. One of the most famous early Asian Muslim immigrants was the Bengali Sake Dean Mahomet. He was a captain of the British East India Trading Company, which in 1810 founded the first Indian restaurant in London. He is also famous for introducing shampoo and massage therapy to England. Islam in Britain is the largest non-Christian religion. Most are predominantly immigrants from South Asia, particularly Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India. There are also other communities from the Middle East, Afghanistan, Malaysia, and Somalia, as well as a small number of African countries, such as Nigeria, Uganda, and Sierra Leone. According to the 2011 National Census, there were 2.7 million Muslims living in England and Wales, up almost 1 million from the previous census. 5% of that number are adults, while 9.1% are children under the age of 5. Most Muslims live in Bradford, Luton, Blackburn, Birmingham, London, and Dewsbury. In addition, Muslim populations can also be found in High Wycombe, Slough, Leicester, Derby, Manchester, Liverpool, and the factory towns of northern England. In general, Muslims in Britain enjoy freedom of religious practice. The Muslim scholar, Maulana Syed Ali Raza Rizvi, argued that in England Muslims were freer to practice their faith. This is compared with other European countries and not a few Islamic countries. London is more Islamic than many Muslim countries in general, said Rizvi at a forum of interfaith figures in London, as reported by telegraph.co.uk, as quoted from the Republica Daily Archives. This event was also attended by Cardinal Vincent Nichols, leader of the Roman Catholic Church in England and Wales, and Chief Rabbi Ephraim Mirvis. He explained that England was considered more Islamic than other countries because of its freedom to worship and multiculturalism. In England, Islam can be summed up as love and justice. All countries in the world should also implement this. However, Islamic political leadership around the world has failed to encourage this. Maulana Rizvi said, unlike Jews and Christians, Muslims in England are a new community. However, there are many communities that live together in peace and harmony, give respect to others, and love others, and that is what Islam is. He added that living in England would make Islamic values more alive. The right to freedom of religion in the UK is regulated in 3 constituent legal systems, namely by national law, European law, and international law. The European Convention on Human Rights, ECHR, guarantees freedom of religion as stated in Article 9. It reads, namely, the right to freedom of thought, belief, and religion. This right includes the freedom to change religion or belief and the freedom, either alone or in community with others and in public or private, to manifest one's religion or belief, in worship, teaching, practice, and obedience. Another article reads, the freedom to manifest one's religion or beliefs shall be subject only to such restrictions as are prescribed by law and which are necessary in a democratic society in the interests of public security, protecting public order, health or morals, or the protection of the rights and freedoms of others. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that in the midst of Islamophobia that has hit most of Europe, the Muslim community cannot be separated from being the target of haters of Islam and Muslims. A 2015 survey stated that 60% of British Muslims often receive discrimination or pressure in carrying out religious practices. This figure is up 40% from a survey conducted in 2010. The majority of British Muslims said the discrimination they received was driven by politicians and unbalanced media coverage. Muslims who were involved as objects of a survey by the Islamic Human Rights Commission, IHRC, said that Muslims suffered from physical and verbal harassment as well as discrimination in the workplace. This research is based on interviews with 1,780 people with the same questions as the 2010 survey. A British government study said the population of Muslims in England had exceeded 3 million for the first time. Citing various sources, this happened in 2019 to 2020 or during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Traces of Islamic influence in England actually stretch back to the Middle Ages. Queen Elizabeth I once relied heavily on Islamic countries to support her economy and armed forces. Daily Mail report, January 4, 2020, British government study stated that Muslims are the fastest growing religious group in England. While Christians continue to decline, the figures were released by the Office for National Statistics, ONS, as part of a research project to undertake the first regular assessment of the size of various ethnic and religious groups, including the UK's Muslim population. Until now, the population of religious and ethnic minorities could only be measured once a decade using results from the decennial national census. According to the ONS assessment, the number of Christians continues to decline, although the decline is said to be slower. Among other religious groups, the Hindu population has increased slightly, while the Sikh population has decreased by a similar amount. The population scale of Jews and Buddhists remains stable, the report said. The number of people who say they have no religion at all, or who will not discuss their religion, has risen to almost a third of the UK population. This increase was almost certainly due to a decline in belief in Christianity. The ONS also estimates that the proportion of people in England who say they follow a religion other than a major religion more than tripled between 2011 and 2016. This increase may again be the result of people seeking new beliefs after becoming disillusioned with Christianity.